Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kim, and if you're new here, this channel deals with yarn on a daily basis, and we talk about knitting and crochet all the time. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the knits of the day. We're going to be opening up some packages that I got in the mail. We're going to be talking about this guide that I made a few years ago. And we're going to be looking at some advents. So I hope you grab your cup of whatever, grab your project, and sit back and enjoy some Christmas cheer with me. But before we do that, I would like to open these packages. So ironically, I opened this one when I did that ornament video. That ornament video that was uploaded on Saturday was actually recorded on Friday, and there was actually a lot more footage, but I did not realize that it had gotten such a lengthy video until I started editing it. And so I kind of cut that short. And so there's going to be a follow-up video for Christmas decor that I hope to record tomorrow. I have several other things I want to share with you just because they're very special to me, and I think that's what makes channels so interesting, as we get to see people's way of doing things and things that are special to them, and it kind of gives us an appreciation of things that we may have in our own life that maybe we just didn't view it that way at the moment. But maybe they give us some insight on something that we felt that maybe we just haven't really processed or thought of. And so I like to share little tidbits of the things that make me me, because that's the whole thing with YouTube. YouTube is about the you in front of the camera. And so I like to invite y'all in, basically my little crafting world, and share that with you. But this was part of that video, and I opened it and I saw it, but I want to share it with you guys because it's really cute. So Sam, who is Mantha's Makes, who lives all across the pond in the UK, sent me a card that I was not expecting, and it's adorable. So it's got this little cute Santa. I love the bird, and I guess that's a cupcake on his head. That's the first thing I thought of, and I'm like, that's precious. But I really, really like this little card. And in this card, there's a little note, and it says, "From Mantha, Moose Mike, Kiddos, and the Fur Babies." And she sent me one of her ornaments. So this is a diamond painting ornament. I've never done diamond painting, and I heard it's really relaxing and cool to do. Like it's a fun little process. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I have the patience or if I have the gracefulness to do something like this, because all these little jewels, I am pretty sure I will knock over and they would be everywhere. But I really love the little reindeer that she made me, and I love the fact that she dated it and put her name on the back of it so I don't forget. And so it is going to go on the tree. Thank you so much, Sam. If you have not checked out Sam's channel, I'm going to be tagging her down below. In every one of my videos, if I talk about a knitting or crochet pattern or a yarn, I'm going to tag it down below. I may forget, and if I do forget, please feel free to call me out on it so I can go in and put that down there. And then I got this package. So this package was actually delivered a few days ago, but apparently I think my father-in-law had got it and put it in a fish truck and forgot about it. So it finally made its way to me. And this is a local person who sent me a gift from Miss Lori, and I haven't opened this one yet. So it's soft. Okay, there's a note. Oh, there's ornaments. Oh, look how cute these are. These are super cute. They're little Christmas trees. I love the little pony beads. So the note says, these are the ornaments we made at the library. Our local library has a knitting and crochet group. They meet once a week. I used to get to go all the time, but unfortunately lately I have not gotten to go in quite some time. But the group is the group that knits. We knit the knitted knockers. And I talked about the group the other day when I was talking about the ornament video because Miss Pat is kind of over that group. But Miss Lori said these are the ornaments that we made at the library for the local nursing home. I thought they were super cute and thought you would enjoy a pair. I do. I even sent them to my mom in Pennsylvania. Aw, wishing you a Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. I really do love these though. These are super, super cute. They're gonna go on my tree. I really am gonna need a bigger tree. So I opened up my coffee advent calendar this morning and I opened up the jelly one. I can't say that I've even had the coffee one. I found a 1K cup of my Tim Hortons maple coffee that I thought I drank all of, and so that is what I'm having now. I did not know of a Tim Hortons until I met some Canadian friends, and then I saw that our local Winn-Dixie of all places, which is kind of a smaller town store here in the South, sold a box of Tim Hortons maple coffee, and they just happened to be on sale for buy one get one free around Thanksgiving, and I bought a box and I drank it all. It was pretty good, and I thought I was out and there was 1K cup left, so that is my coffee of the hour. So let's go ahead and talk about the knits of the day. We'll start with the mitts. I probably should have shared these when I did the video talking about free mitts because I think this is a free pattern. I'm pretty sure. I made these socks many years ago. These are the Jaywalker socks using Desert Vista Dye Works, and I really love these socks. I love how they wear when I actually wear my knitted socks, which is really not often. And I always wanted to make a pair of fingerless mitts. I really like how the chevron pattern looks in self-striping yarn. I think it's really pretty how it does. And so a couple of years ago when I did the Desert Vista Dye Works knit along, the yearly knit along, I decided to make a pair of fingerless mitts out of this yarn. And this is the Ides of March, I think, colorway. It's really, really pretty grays with like splashes of red. And it just looks amazing in this pattern. But these were, I think, a free pattern. And when I started to prepare for this knit, I always prepare for my knits. I just never jump right in. I always kind of go through, before I choose any kind of pattern, I go through, I look on Ravelry, I look at the projects that are made from it. And if they don't look like the designers, then I tend to kind of wonder, especially if it's been made by several people and nobody really looks like the designer, I tend to stay away from those kind of patterns. Because if more than one person is having issues getting the same result as the designer, there may be a flaw in the pattern. So just keep that in mind. The second thing I go through and do is look at my favorite projects that people have made of that and look at their notes, because maybe they did a little bit different stitch, or maybe they have some insight on how the pattern's going to fit that I may need to take under consideration. That kind of happened with these. If I'm not mistaken, there was a different cast on number for these than what I initially casted on. And when I made those socks, because the nature of the stitch of the chevron, it pulls the fabric in and it makes it a little bit more fitted, I knew that I needed to make these a little bit looser so that they would go over my arms and that I can kind of move my wrist and my hands a little bit more. And so I altered my, I think, cast on these. But my notes are always on my project pages if you ever want to check those out. And I'm yarning for a smile literally everywhere. But I really love these mitts. I do love how they fit, even with my big Apple Watch. I mean, it looks kind of weird, but it fits over there fine. But I have pretty small wrists and they fit perfectly. They're a little bit looser than I really need for the ribbing part. I should have made that a little bit tighter. But other than that, they're fine. The shawl of the day is my campside shawl. And this is a pattern by Alicia Plummer. This is a great pattern. So when I was going to the library, I think, was it me that led this knit along? It might have been me. I may have led this knit along. But several of us knit this together. And it uses 2 or 3 skeins of worsted weight yarn. Or was it DK? I'll link it in the show notes. I love this shawl because it is so big. So I am 6 feet tall. And when I stretch this out all the way with my hands, it goes past my entire arm span. Very, very versatile shawl, and it's just really like a hug. It's really great. Another make of the day is actually off camera, but I wanted to talk about it, and that is this. This is my first ever crochet blanket, and I made it a couple years ago. This is the Shape Bears. I think I'm saying that wrong. Shape Bears yarn. And this is 108 colors. The color pack actually came with 109 colors, but it didn't utilize black in the pattern. And this pattern is from New Leaf Designs, I think. I'll link it down below. There's a paid for version where you can just get the PDF without ads, but she has a free version on her blog. So I'm definitely going to link that for you down below, because this is a great way to use up scraps of yarn that you've accumulated over the year. Or if you haven't kept your scraps, maybe this year, save all those different color scraps in a jar. For example, this is my jar, and I've been putting yarn in here since I started knitting and crocheting in 2013. But I use these to actually stuff ornaments and little stuffies that I make. But if they're long enough scraps, you can easily utilize them in a project like this. So this is just using a chevron pattern and then alternating the colors on every row. The most genius thing about this entire blanket is there is no ends to weave in. And that is because with each row, you keep the ends on the end, and then after you complete the blanket, you go back and you cut string to make tassels, and you tie them around the original string or ends from the row, and it looks intentional. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great pattern. But this is 100% cotton, and I think this is sport weight yarn. I'm pretty sure. But I love this blanket. I love the rainbowness of it, and I love the drape of this blanket. Okay, now let's talk about the adorable Santa that I mentioned earlier. Is one of my favorite things I've ever made. So this is an Old World Santa. I think that's his actual pattern name. And this pattern is almost as old as I am. I don't remember where I saw the pattern for this actually. Actually I do. I remember now. Miss Pat, the lady from the library, was making one of these or something very similar to this. And this was a long time ago. And she couldn't remember where she got the pattern. So I went pattern searching. And I found that it is a Leisure Arts pattern from a 1986 magazine. And I want you to know. So as soon as I saw that, I knew I wanted to make one. And I could have just got a copy of her pattern, but I do really try to respect copyright at all times. So if I see a pattern that I want, I don't make a copy of it. I'll go and actually buy the magazine that it's in, or a digital copy of the magazine, or I'll just buy the physical copy of the pattern or the download. And that's what I did here. So this originally was in a 1988 magazine from Leisure Arts, and I started scouring the interwebs to locate this magazine. And lo and behold, I found one. And I found this on eBay. But I love finding old things like this, because this is 27 projects in this issue. It's Leisure Arts, the magazine. There's knitting, there's cross stitch, and there's crochet. December 1988, and it was only $3. I wish magazines were still $3, but around here for me to get a UK magazine, it's about 20 bucks. So I think I paid $5 for this. And it had this glorious little pattern. I think this one I was originally knit flat. It's called the St. Nick's to Knit. So here's the original photo of them. I don't remember what, I think they just used some roving for the beard. So I just found this kind of beard at Hobby Lobby. I may actually redo it because I don't really love it. It looks it's starting to look a little ragged over the years because I've made this quite some time ago. And the year I made this, I actually made 3 of them. And then I made these other 2 for I made this one for myself, and then I made these other two, one for my mom and one for my husband's mom for Christmas. It's originally worked flat, but I was not going to knit this thing flat, so I converted it to an in the round pattern. And then the robe, if you look at it, I'm like, okay, that looks just like the Harvest from Tin Can Knits. And I kind of liked how that pattern was written better. So I actually made the Harvest sweater for mine from Tin Can Knits. It's a free pattern. I'm going to link it down below. I've actually knit myself one. It's a little big on me because, again, I was just kind of learning about tension and gauge. But it's just that sweater. And then I picked up stitches around the collar and I knitted him a hat. And I think it turned out super cute. I did use some twine for a belt because I felt like it needed a belt. But Santa is a full body Santa. He even has black on his feet for his boots. And he has little black hands for gloves. He is made completely out of Barocco vintage worsted. And I love him. Like, I love him so much. On mine, I did use some buttons that are snowflake buttons that I had in my stash, and I think they just look amazing. But I think he's the cutest thing, and that's them right there. So Santa comes out every year, and that was one mate that always brings me joy. So now it's that time where we talk about the yarn advent of the day, which always excites me because I really, honestly am enjoying this advent. I love the colors. I am definitely doing your advent again next year, Miss Donna, because it has brought me so much joy. And there's honestly not been a single color that I did not love. But today we have this cute little Santa box. It's probably my favorite. And we have this glorious pink yarn that is called Valkyrie Braun Hide. H-I-L-D-E. But look at this. Wow, that is so pretty. So pretty. I have several projects that I want to do with Advent. And so I'm trying to decide what I want to use these for. Do I want to use them all in one project like a shawl? Or do I want to do a blanket? Helen Stewart has this blanket called Habitation, and it utilizes mini skeins. Or do I want to separate them and use them for a project, kind of like I'm doing with my Desert Vista dye work scraps, where I'm making mini stockings and I'm going to make a garland basically to go around in my shed to leave up all year long. And I thought about using these to do something like that. I don't know yet. And if you're kind of in the same boat, I do have 2 blog posts that I wrote last year that have different patterns to use with minis. I'm going to drop those 2 blog posts in the description below. You may find a pattern to use with an advent that you have, or you can just use scraps. You don't have to have an advent calendar. So what do you think I should do? Should I put them in a shawl, a cowl, a blanket, or should I do some kind of project that utilizes every one of the colors, but in a way kind of like my mini stockings? I do want to answer a question that someone had left in my comments, and right now I can't remember who it was. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to find out who it was. And then I'm going to tag you in this video. But someone had asked when I was doing one of the videos at my desk, was that Hedwig behind me? Why, yes. Yes, it was. So this is actually something that I got one year from my local Target. I have in the most amazing local Target ever. Love my local Target. We as a family go a lot there just to kind of hang out. And we've really gotten to know the staff and management there. We consider them our friends. There are several that we are Facebook friends with, and we talk to them and, you know, wish them happy birthdays and Merry Christmas and such. And 2 of the managers, well, one of them is left now. She actually works with our local responders. Like, we're really good friends with them. So I made 2 of them, their own little special Dot Me. And I made myself one as well because I fell in love with the pattern. But this pattern is Pattern is Spew by Be Crochetive. I actually tested this pattern. I've tested several of her patterns. I love her stuff. If you're looking for cute stuffies, really check out her Etsy and really check out her Ravelry store. I'm going to link it down below. She makes a cute, amazing designs. And I'm sure you'll see some more of her stuff around my room as soon as I get all my things out. But I made each of them their own little dobby. And apparently the select Targets were sent this Lego Hedwig to do something with, whatever they kind of wanted to. And then a couple weeks later, we go into Target and they're like, hey, we've been looking for you. And I'm like, what did I do? And they're like, come here, we got something for you. So they go into the back and they come out with this bag, and I open up the bag and this was inside of it. There was less than 600 of these made, if I'm not mistaken. Some super low number. I've only seen 2 show up on eBay, and I think they're like trying to sell them for like $1,000, which is crazy. But they put it together and they craggled it, which is fine because they didn't, it's fine. And they gave it to me. So the cool thing about this, it actually has the Lego production number on the back of it. Production date was May 15th, 2018. It has its product number and it has its number that was made. So this was number 567 out of these very select few that were produced, which is crazy. And me being the ginormous Harry Potter lover that I am, like literally stood in the middle of Target in the entry when you walk in where the dollar spot is, bawling like a baby. Like I couldn't even breathe. I'm just kind of like, snot was going everywhere. It was not pretty, but I will never ever forget these ladies for giving this to me. And I don't even know if they watch the channel. I mean, seriously, amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Love him. So yes, that is Hedwig. It's a Lego limited edition thing put out from Target that the store only got 1 each to give away or do something with, and my store gave me theirs. Pretty special. But I just want to say thank you so much for being part of my Vlogmas special. This year has really not felt like Christmas to me that much. It was kind of a blur getting everything decorated, and usually I start decorating and getting into the season a lot earlier, but working out here has kind of absorbed a lot of our time. I am ready to get back to a normal way of life and balance next year, and I really hope that you stick around to really experience what I intended this Vlogmas to be this year that has just been unable to be. And I really hope to improve on it and bring you what I want my Vlogmas to be for you next year. So I hope you continue enjoying these videos, and I really hope you stick around for a lot more. Until the next one, you can find me here. Stay warm, stay cozy, knit up and crochet up all the things, and know that you are loved.